Now when we say that you are a self-realized person, then you have to feel this power on your central nervous system. It's not just a mental projection. It's beyond the mental projection. By mental projection, even a murderer can say, oh, I'm all right. God has done this for me. But when you cross that point and enter into the new consciousness, then you know the absolute truth. Absolute truth is that everybody feels the same way, because spirit is the absolute. For example, there's a child who is realized. You take 10 children who are realized and put somebody before them and ask, what's wrong with this person? They will all raise the same finger, say this one. So you ask the person, have you got a throat trouble? Yes, but how do you know? Because this fingertip is decoded to be related to this center here, which we call as Vishuddhi. That's how you can find out absolute truth about anyone. Yesterday I told you when they asked the question about the false gurus, that how will you make out a false from the real? Even how will you recognize Christ? They never recognized him when he came. So how will you recognize him? Only way is that if you are a self-realized person, immediately you can feel it on your fingertips. If it is Christ, you just ask her, is it Christ? You become like a divine computer. You start feeling a tremendous cool place. Any question, is there God? People just declare there is no God. Only it is very unscientific. Have you found out is there God or not? How can you just declare there is no God without finding out? That's blindness. So you have to find out, is there God? Soon ask this question, if you are a realized soul, immediately you start getting a cool place. But supposing there's a cheat who says that I am a saint, you can find it out, immediately you start feeling a little burning maybe, sometimes might get a little blistering for a while, but disappears. You become like a barometer. Thus you discover the absolute truth about yourself and about it. And you don't mind facing yourself at all, because this is what is self-knowledge. Many people would come to me and say, Mother, my agya is horrible. Listen, that means this person has got ego. Nobody will say, Mother, I've got ego. Nobody would say that. But they'll say, I've got this agya. So, he's confessing that I've got too much ego, better remove it. Because the screw is little loose sometimes. If you turn it, it works out. It's very simple. The whole mechanism is made. Say, for example, we have a television. Through ether, we can see so many films and so many music, everything we can see in modern times. But if you go to a remote village in some, say in India or someplace where they have not known anything about television, you show them the television. And that you can say that you can see all kinds of films from all over the world. They'll say, what? Telling some stories to us. So this is just a box. In the same way, we also feel about ourselves that we are just a box. But once put to the mains, you discover what you are. How glorious you are, how divine you are, how beautiful you are. So this thing has to happen within us. So we become the self. As a result, we become knowledgeable about the absolute. Once everybody knows the same truth, how can there be any quarrel? Nobody can fight there because everybody knows the same thing about anything. They will have the same answer. There cannot be wars, there cannot be any conflict, nothing of the kind. Everything then you understand as completely integrated. Everything becomes one. You understand that all religions are one. We are the ones who have, as I told you yesterday, taken up the flowers from the living tree of divinity and are fighting with the dead flowers. Then you are amazed how they are interwoven. Christ has said, those who are not against me are with me. Even Muhammad Sahab has said, never a word has to be said against Mary. She is pure. How is it they knew each other so well and they talked about each other? How they are connected to each other? All this you know through your self-realization. For example, there was a Sikh gentleman who came to see me. At that time, the Sikhs and the Muslims were at dagger side. And he had stomach problem of a very serious nature. So I said that, you have faith in Guru Nanak. Yes, of course I have. What about Muhammad Sahib? No, I have no faith in him. I said, then I can't cure you. You can ask a question, Mother, is Guru Nanak the same as Muhammad Sahib? He said, I can't ask this question. I said, all right, I can't help you. Went home, but his wife was very much worried because they came all the way to London to see me. So she brought him round. And she said, no harm in asking the question. I said, but ask. As soon as he asked the question 3 times, he started feeling a little cool breeze. Now I said, you say that Guru Nanak and Muhammad Sahib were the same. As soon as he said, started getting a lot of cool breeze. And he got cured after that. So the truth that we do not know gets confirmed. Whatever is written in most of the scriptures is the truth. And then you can verify it. For example, Christ was the Son of God. I mean, so many people are saying all kinds of nonsensical things about it. They have no sense of proportion. Surprising. I mean, because God has given them tongue and God has given them some brains, they are absolutely brainless people. To ask a question, was Christ the Son of God? Just a question. And you get the answer. So you know the absolute truth once you are a self-realized person. Secondly, when the Kundalini rises, she goes to this green part as you see, we call it as the void, or is called as the Bhavasagara, the ocean of illusion. And all the 10 commandments are there. Means we human beings have got 10 valencies. Carbon has 4, as you know. And we have 10 valencies. In the matter, there are 8 valencies maximum. And in the animals, there are 9, but in human beings, there are 10. So all these get enlightened, and you become a really a righteous person. Become a saint. You don't do anything wrong. You just don't do it. Don't have any temptations. You don't have any greed. You don't have any lust. You lead a very sane married life. Automatically it happens. I don't have to tell you. And that's how you give up all those habits which have enslaved you and have sometimes ruined also. Overnight, you see people becoming all right. But when you become the Spirit, in the light of the Spirit, you really give up most of the nonsensical things which are disturbed. And you take to the right thinking, and not that you think in the righteous way, but you act. Because there's complete integration of your personality. Whatever you think with your brain, your heart supports fully, and your liver works it out. Such an interesting personality you develop that you are amazed at yourself. As I told you, your health improves and you know the truth. But also, you get a new awareness called collective consciousness, as described by you. And this collective consciousness gives you the bodha, as they call it. Bodha means the sensation on your fingertips, on your central nervous system, to know what's wrong with others also, what's wrong with their centers. Then you don't talk that he is very mystical, you do not say that he is very conditioned. What you talk, that see, is catching on this center, is catching on that center, catching on that center. This is the language you start speaking. You just talk the language of your centers and the centers of another, which is detached from you. And once you know how to correct it, in that collective consciousness, you can help thousands of people.